الذين بالمسيح أتمتم المسيح قد
How many of you think America is a Christian country? Does anybody think America is a Christian country? I absolutely do not think so. I have to take back something, though, that I said some time ago regarding the death penalty. I think we have to be very careful when we take human life. And why am I saying that? In the context, is America a Christian country? I think by now everyone knows how much fentanyl was seized at the border. Some people are going to bring in enough fentanyl to kill 5 million people. When you listen to our politicians, do you ever hear any reference to God whatsoever? Or the Bible? Or the term that some people use, Judeo-Christian notions? I dare say not. From what I see what's going on in America, I think the devil's got America by the tail and swinging us around. We're becoming less churchified. More people will say, "Oh, I'm spiritual, but I don't need to go to church because, well, I contemplate and I think about the spiritual being and so on and so forth." That's not being a Christian. And with the debates going on in our country, I know I talked about it a bit ago, but how in God's name can anyone accept trimester abortion? And I keep hearing more and more people for it. And I think to myself, what if you were aborted? The level of our education, devoid of any religion in the schools, it's amazing. You know, when I grew up, I felt I was safe. I really felt safe. We began a prayer in school every day. I mean, people wonder why there's violence. Today there was a whole bunch of shootings, somewhere I think in Illinois. It's a country gone mad. The number of shootings. How can you not be convinced that there's evil permeating our society? And we think we can be very casual about the abortion issue, but it leads to a whole bunch of other issues too, by the way. Now, for some reason or another, I'm a news junkie. and I have to see what's going on. And all I can say, and I'm sure I've said it before and I'm repeating it again, the public discourse is at the lowest level that I've ever experienced in my life. Now, what's the upside of this? Now, you think about it. I heard one politician saying by the next year, the president will be in jail. And I noticed right behind it were all young people going, yay! Can you expect young people to have respect for elders, for clergy, for politicians, where they are in the crossfire of denigrating verbiage, constantly hammering away? I know that the scandal of child abuse in the Catholic Church is awful. But because they're blaring so much about it, what kids would ever want to trust the priest? You know how hard it is to gain the trust of young people? It's tough, man. But when our leaders go at each other's jugular in name calling, he is a liar, he's no good, he ought to be in jail, he's an SOB, and go on and on and on. When you listen to the news, I was asking myself, how could young people respect anybody anymore? And one of the most fundamental things that's wrong in our society today is a lack of common respect to each other. And it begins with respect. Everything begins with respect. When I grew up, everybody was my aunt and my uncle. And when they came into the room, I stood up and I looked them in the eye and shook their hands or gave them an embrace. I remember in some of my church settings, I'd walk into the room and everybody would be sitting cross-legged. Hey, what am I, straw? Stand up, look me in the eye, tell me, hello, Father, stand up. We don't have any manners anymore. And of course, it starts from somewhere. Our parents, teachers, our leaders, our politicians. We cannot continually trash everybody and expect the next generation to come up and say, oh, professor, oh, father, oh, anyone. I mean, why should they? Already we are suspect in their eyes of having another agenda. I think, God bless you all, but I think our country needs to get back to the basics really bad. Really bad. We need to get back to the basics in our home. Start with a prayer at every meal to thank God for all that we have at that moment. It's a small Eucharist when you give thanks for your food. Teach our kids to say those little words to each other and to their parents, I love you. We need to go back to the basics and teach respect. Don't take anything for granted. Even in the media, when I watch any programs, when someone walks into the room, they stay seated and they say, hey, what the heck? Where did that come from? Hey. We can't say hello? It's hey? Are our knees broken that we can't stand up and look people eye to eye and give them our respect? Even if we disagree, can we not disagree with respect? Do we have to be hateful in our disagreements? I made a proposal to the government, nobody paid any attention, of course, that they ought to have in Washington a kind of ecumenical event for peace. And every politician, every party come together and talk about peace and the greatness of love and interpersonal relationships to make our country truly great. Because as I see it, my friends, and I'm not a pessimist at all. I work toward the positive, and I'm fairly optimistic. But we need to get back to the basics. And thank God for those of us who have our Orthodox faith to ground us. Because even when we venerate the icon, we are showing respect to that which is beyond us, and yet with us. We need that so urgently. And therefore, when I talk about the services during Great Lent, to round this whole thing out, including St. Andrew of Crete on Thursday before Holy Week, they teach us something about love and about respect and about forgiveness and about humility and about personal growth and about self-awareness so that we can grow bit by bit, glory upon glory.